Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago, and welcome once again to the Bourse Report. Season's greetings to all of you and best wishes for the new year. Over the past several weeks, we have been providing, shall I say, not glad tidings about the state of the economy, nor the international financial outlook and markets. But there must be some bright spots. The equity markets internationally are down, all the major markets. The bond markets provide certain bright spots. Locally, the equity market is pretty much flat. And what's going to happen to next year? So let's look at some possibilities in the local equity market, which can provide you, or which may provide you, some opportunity in the new year. First of all, let's look at First Caribbean International. And let's look first at its earnings over the last couple of years. Let's go to the first graph, and you would see that earnings over the last couple of years have been in negative territory. And this year, the year ended October 2015, has produced 38 cents in earnings. That 38 cents in earnings, this is TT dollars that we are talking about. That 38 cents comes after some weak performances or losses in the previous 2 years. But significantly, the company has paid a special dividend of 6.3 cents US, in addition to its final dividend of 2 cents US. These augur well for the outlook for the company, which is overcapitalized and appears to be paying down some of that capital by way of special dividends. This means that the dividend yield for First Caribbean is pretty much in the order of 12%, a good place to be, in addition to which the dividend is paid in US dollars. And that's why we are looking at this particular stock now that it appears to have turned the corner away from losses as something that could give you opportunity in the new year. Notwithstanding this, we still have a neutral view and recommendation for the stock at this point in time. Let's see what will happen as it goes along, because revenues have not been growing. Much of what has come to the bottom line is a reduction in impairment in loan loss and other intangibles. Let's move now to another player that we may want to look at in the new year, and this is Sagicor Financial Corporation. And Sagicor Financial Corporation has been somewhat spotty in terms of its quarterly earnings. As you look at graph 4, we skip 2 graphs and we go to graph 4. It has been somewhat spotty in its earnings in each quarter. And the main factor for this has been what? The main factor for this has been that the sword of Damocles that hangs over the head of Sagicor, which has been its European operations, and extensive losses which have been experienced, notwithstanding that that operation has been discontinued. There is a tail end of responsibility and liability that still hung with Sagicor. But as we look forward, we can see the end of the discontinued operations and the very significant impact that it would have had on Sagicor. This year, thus far, it's 18 million US dollars that has been brought as losses to the bottom line from the European operations. And there is the expectation that the remaining tail for these discontinued operational losses is 5 million, which we think will be brought in the fourth quarter. That creates now a clean sheet, and Sagicor has to face and brave the issues of the economy in the Caribbean. Notwithstanding this, low oil prices could provide some impetus to areas such as Jamaica as well as other areas. And finally, let's look at NGL, TTNGL. When you look at TTNGL, what has been happening? I think that very importantly, the dividend the inflows of the company is in US dollars, and therefore you are having a hedge, a US dollar hedge from this company. Buy on dips. 3 bright spots to look at: Sagicor, possibly, First Caribbean, and of course TTNGL. Some thoughts for the year ahead. Have yourself a wonderful investment week, and look for us on page 10 of the Express when we provide more information of our Bourse mutual funds and under the rubric of Save Invest. There are more details of this report on our website, bourseinvestment.com. And further to this, I want to close this year by saying to each and every one of you, our investors and the general public of Trinidad and Tobago, have a safe and prosperous, healthy and happy New Year 2016. This is Subhash Ramkelawan for the Bourse Report.